So this weekend's match was something a little bit different than usual. It's a DMR match. However, this one was put on by Cameron Hayes. He's got a YouTube channel called the Camputee. Basically, the general idea of this match was everything was completely unknown. So the stage descriptions, target distances, target locations, all that was unknown until it was your turn to shoot and you stepped up to the firing line. So you were not allowed to have a laser rangefinder at all. So the only ranging that you were able to do was by either milling your targets or by using something like a BDC reticle. Now, luckily, Cameron was kind enough to make the target sizes appropriate and consistent, so that way you could actually range targets. But yeah, it was a fun match. I did not do very well, but it was fun. So I'll go ahead and go over the gear, and then I'll get to the interesting thing that no one has seen yet. So, green Caldwell bag, as usual. Trigger cam 2.1, as usual. I had some data taped to this. Didn't end up using any of that, although it might have been helpful on one of the stages. Ammo for the rifle. I was using AAC. This is their Saber black tip, 7.62x39. I know people are gonna probably ask, well, how accurate is it? It's an AK, how accurate could it possibly be? So this is a 20-shot group with this rifle from 100 yards. So it came in just over 2 inches at 100 yards. So it's, if you look at this main body of the group here, 1 3/4 at 100 yards, and then some kind of stragglers at about 2 inches, and then one outlier at 2.5. So that's a pretty good group for an AK, I think, especially with ammo that costs 60 cents a round. I've done a bit of ammo testing with this rifle, and so far this is the stuff that I shot the best. I don't like this ammo though. Even though it shoots well, it's the biggest thing with this ammo is it is super slow. I'll roll in a picture of some chronograph data that I took. This stuff shoots, well, actually, this stuff in this container right here shoots differently than what I tested this rifle with. So when I originally was testing ammo for this rifle, I ordered 40 rounds of basically all the 7.62x39 that I could kind of find that was reasonably priced. And so I shot 20-shot groups, and then I got 20 rounds of chronograph data. And this stuff shot the best accuracy-wise, but in terms of speed, this stuff was the slowest. All right, so this is a 21.5-inch barrel from bolt face to crown. And out of this barrel, this ammo, well, actually, the ammo that I chronographed it with originally, that stuff shot 2,412 feet per second out of this length barrel, which is very slow. You can find, like, Tula shoots 2,400 out of a 16-inch barrel. And I did chronograph this with Tula, and Tula out of this barrel length shot about 2,550. So this stuff is almost 150 feet per second slower than Tula. So that was a little disappointing. And then when I got this ammo can for this match, I threw 5 rounds into the rifle and just did a quick check to see if this stuff shot any different from the original. This stuff shoots about 2,350. So this stuff is even slower. I don't know if that was just, luck of the draw of those 5 rounds that I picked up, or if that is actually that this stuff is actually slower, like this lot of ammo. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to do more testing on that, but that definitely cost me a little bit in the match. But yeah, ammo out of the way. We'll get on to the rifle itself. Okay, so the rifle that I'm using in this match is a Tabuk Sniper Rifle. This is a reproduction made by Two Rivers Arms in Oklahoma. The rifle is pretty nice. I'm liking it. This is my first AK. So let's see. I guess we'll start out the front. So this is the Silencer Co. Omega 36M. People always ask what this is. This is the suppressor mount for, or not the suppressor mount. This is the mount for the Magpul suppressor cover. There's another mount. This one just stays on the can. Well, it stays on my can. It's not really supposed to. Underneath it, I'm using the Silencer Co. 3-port brake. This is mounted to a KNS 14x1 left hand to 5/8 24 right hand thread adapter. The rifle ships with like an SVD style flash hider. I don't know. One day I'll use a match with that, but for now I'm sticking with the brake. Magpul bipod. This is mounted to the JMac 14.25, I believe. Optimal length handguard for the Yugo M70. So if you don't know, the Tabuk Sniper Rifles are based on Yugo M70s. So they take Yugo furniture. This is actually the handguard that shipped with the rifle. I swapped it out because I needed a way to mount a bipod. So let's see, we'll go to the scope and scope mount. So this is the Zeiss LRP S3 4-25. Scope is probably not the best choice for this match because this is an MOA scope, not a mil scope, which some people say makes ranging targets harder. The way I was using this scope setup, whether or not my scope was mil or MOA, did not really matter for the way I shot this match. So the scope is mounted. To a RS Regulate. This is the AK350 MS rail. So this is I believe this is a PSL mount for the lower mount, and then the upper mount, I don't remember which model this is. Let's see, what else did I do to this? So you can see the trigger, there's some blue in there. I switched the trigger out for a CMC. This is their, I think, AK 2.0 trigger. It's a pretty nice trigger. The only issue that I ran into is that when I originally installed it, the safety didn't work. So when I put the rifle on safe, I was still able to pull the trigger and it would go off. So obviously that's not a good thing. So I had to have Two Rivers Arms send me a unmodified safety. That way it would still work. The trigger is pretty good. It's not my preference for crispness. So I prefer a very, very crisp trigger, which is why I run the trigger text in my ARs. This one is okay. It's I don't know, it's squishy. It's not as crisp as they market it, in my opinion. Buttstock, the adapter for it, this is the Yugo M70 adapter to an M4 buffer tube. This is actually made by Zastava. I ordered it from them. So it really does take M70 components using a AR M4 carbine buffer tube. And then this is the Magpul PRS Lite. The cheek piece does not really get up high enough. I'm still at like a chin weld with this. However, if I raise this any higher, it gets to the point where it's just really wobbly, and I'm not really a fan of that. So I want to either 3D print something to replace this piece, or 3D print entire new stock, or order new stock. I'm not sure. This setup is not gonna stay the way it is. This is the stock that shipped with the rifle. The stock is okay. You can see when I line that up there at the receiver, it's about an inch shorter than the PRS. So the length of pole is relatively short. Comb height is a hair taller. And so it would probably be okay to work with this scope. However, when I have the March on here, the mount I have for the March sits a little bit higher. So even with this cheek pad, when I have the march on here, it's not perfect. With the Zeiss, it's okay. This is the original stock I had. Now this actually broke and I had to send it back to Two Rivers Arms. Now, I want to be clear. The stock broke and it's not his fault. These stocks are just fragile. That's just the way they are because of the cut. Like you can see, so the way it broke is right in through here. There's a crack that went through here this way. It's just very, very thin here. So I'm not faulting Two Rivers Arms for that. I sent it back to him. He fixed it. He ran a screw through it. Hopefully that'll keep it together, and he glued it. So hopefully this one does not break. If it does, he sent an extra. That way I can at least have one. And if this one breaks again, I probably just will take the original stock off permanently and switch to either this setup again, or I don't know. I'll switch it up and see what sort of funky stuff I can come up with. All right, so I'm gonna do the same thing for this video as I did in the last video. Basically, I'm gonna let all the stages play through, and then I'll replay them with my thoughts. Some of these stages have the stage descriptions recorded, some of them do not. All the stages are pretty self-explanatory, so I'm not too worried about it.
All right. You can go ahead and go up
Come
to
on,
the shooting box.
come on, come up shooting box. So, here's your shooting box. It's the only place you can shoot from. It's inside here, right?
Okay.
This is where we'll start. This is where you'll load, make ready, all that kind of good stuff, right?
All right.
It's a little faded.
Yep, it's a little faded, but it was good. Better. So, yellow targets, right? 4 yellow targets. So you'll engage 4 yellow targets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bing, 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 bing. 4 hits. Weapon on safe. Make sure you do that before you start running away. Run round back. You probably saw them just a second ago.
Yep.
4
ammo cans
cans.
right there.
You'll pick them up. You'll haul ass down there. Run around the barricade. Come back. Put them back in the same box. Come back up. Pick it up. Do it again. You'll continue to do that until I tell you to stop.
All right.
Clear as mud.
I think so.
The third time that you carry those ammo cans and you cross that yellow line, you're done.
Okay.
That means that you're done with the stage.
Go ahead and step up.
Can you see all the yellow targets?
Yeah.
You got all
So-
4 of them?
Yep. One by
Car?
the car, one by the bus, and then 2 in the.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
And left to right.
So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start your time. You'll continue to run the drill until I either tell you the time runs out,
Good, yep.
or you complete the whole thing 4 times.
Okay.
After you get about 3 shooters shoot it, yeah, go read them the stage brief again, because they've been sitting in line after we forgot it.
Yep, I will. Shooter, do you understand the drill? Go ahead, load, make ready.
Yep.
Shooter ready?
Yep.
Stand by. Go. Hit. Hit. Hit.
Wrong target.
Hit. Hit. Move.
You hit the same target twice.
I thought he did. These I can almost call it without it anyway.
Yeah. What's up, baby? Yep.
Hit! 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 Move. And ceasefire. Clear it out. All right, sir, do you understand the drill?
Yep.
You're ready.
Yep.
Stand by. Start from right here. Your second shooting position is right in front of my tripod.
Okay.
Go to work whenever you're ready. Impact, hit, go. Weapon safe, and ceasefire. That's it. Shooter, do you understand the drill?
7 targets left to right.
Yes, sir. And then we're going to repeat it on 2 different shooting positions.
Yep. All right.
Shooter ready?
Yep.
Stand by.
Kill it, bud. Thanks.
Left to right. Hit. 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 Left to right.
Yep. I see it.
Hit. Hit. Now move. Now you got all 7. Same pattern, sir. Same pattern. Hit. 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 Hit.
There we
Clear
go.
it out.
Huh?
Good job.
Thanks. It's nice finishing a stage for once.
Do what?
It's nice finishing a stage for once.
No, it was a good run, dude. Good run. How long have you been running this?
I've had it for like a few weeks.
Just a few weeks?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good job, dude. All right, step into the box, sir.
Fucking AK guys.
With a magazine or whatever, load and make ready. Bolt to the rear or bolt doing that thing. Whatever that weird thing bolts do with... Did they even have a bolt in it?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. All right, sir. 2468.
He's not
Yep.
communist.
Shooter, you understand the drill?
Yep.
Stand by. Listen for the beep. Thank you, sir. Clear it out. Perform a proper clean procedure.
How fucked were those hits, by the way?
Huh?
Can you tell me that?
On you?
Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Your worst one was the second one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did I have any Misses?
No misses.
Okay, all right.
No misses.
All right, I'll take that.
Yeah. All right, send me my next pick. I'm fine with that.
I want to go fast! Gas gun, fast gun. That's the best stage of the day. That was a good.
Dude, that was a good stage. That's a very good stage, Chip.
Thank you. God, I fucking love you.
Austin, whenever you're ready, brother.
Hell yeah.
I got you a video, even though it's going to be back here.
Oh, it's all good. I think I got it.
Step into my orange box, sir.
All right.
All right, you look down range.
Yep.
See some things you got to shoot at.
Yep.
Take a minute.
I'm assuming you're talking about the Iron Maidens.
I would shoot the orange stuff.
Yeah. Right. So the first two are kind of in the shade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then same for the ones past them.
Yes, sir. There are two pink
There's-
targets that are
yeah.
far right. Do not touch my pink ones, okay?
Yep. Okay.
I'm just throwing that out there just as an
Yeah, I
admin
was
thing.
gonna say because I see three, and from here they look kind of the same color.
You get through the scope, you'll see the difference.
Yeah. All right.
Load and make ready, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yep.
Finish up down there.
All right.
You ready, sir?
Yep.
Stand by. Shooter ready.
Yep.
Stand by. Hit. 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 Hit.
Come on.
Ceasefire.
Oh man. I'm on the struggle bus today.
All right, good sir. See the orange box on the ground?
Yep.
That's where you're starting from.
Okay.
Give you 1 minute to observe.
All right. So I see a pink Iron Maiden at 200. Pink at 4. You said past the truck is no good. So the target that is to the right of the truck, that's past it.
Well, yes, because I love Cam. Yes,
Yeah.
it is past, but that is your target. That's one of your targets.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, so then the one to the lower left of it, that's also the target?
Correct, sir.
Okay, so it's those two. It's not the one on the ridge.
There's 5 targets total.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yes. All right. And that's just near to far.
first 2 are near
Target
the far.
1, target 2, 3 through 5.
When you get to the ladder, it's left to right.
Left to right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Here, are you ready?
I think so.
All right, shooter, do you understand the drill? Have a seat,
Mag in?
please. Weapon on safe, mag in, ready to go. Shooter ready.
Yep.
Stand by. Hit. Hit. Ceasefire.
It's hard as fuck, ain't it?
Huh?
Hard as fuck, ain't it?
With 7.62 by 39? It's tricky.
That ain't no shit.
I was holding about 25 minutes for that.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Wow.
Fuck
Damn!
They drop like rocks.
All right, so my thoughts about stage one. I want to go ahead and remind everybody that's watching that this is my first match with this gun, and up till now, I've only had this gun for about 2 weeks. So I did not have anywhere near as much data as I would have liked to have, right? I didn't have any real temperature data about what the velocity of this ammo does at different temperatures. I didn't have a whole lot of long range data. I shot the rifle out to 300 yards the day before this match, but that's about it. That's as far as I've gone. I've never gone past 300 yards. And even within 300 yards, I haven't done a whole lot of trajectory confirmation, right? So I shot it at 100 yards and I shot it at 300 yards. I didn't check at 200 to see what the hold was, anything like that. So when I zeroed the gun, the close zero is 36 yards, and then the second zero is 264 yards. A little bit strange. But with that zero, what that means is that the trajectory of the bullet should never go outside of the angular size of the target until you get to about 310 yards. That's assuming perfect accuracy, right? So when you take into the effects of accuracy, right? So this gun is about a 2.5 minute gun. 50% of the time at the apex distance, I'll be going over the target. Right? So that's not necessarily ideal, but it's just the way the math works. So these targets are all about 200 to 250 yards. And so for those closer targets, the ones closer to 200 yards, just due to the accuracy of the gun, I'm going to be hitting over the target. So what I should have been doing on basically all these targets is holding low. And what you'll notice is if you watch it back, all the targets that I'm struggling to hit, I am holding in the middle of the target. So what I think is happening is just because of the statistics of shooting, I'm going over the target. So when I force myself to hold low, my hit rate is much better. Now, during the match, obviously I'm not thinking about any of that. All those thoughts are as I'm watching the footage back. During the match, I knew I was hitting high because I could see the splash on that first target that I shot. And then I also thought I was hitting right. That turned out, based on the footage, I don't think that is the case, but that's the way it looked to me at the time. So that's what I thought going into the next stages after this. It was a rough first stage. Definitely could have gone better, but like I said, only had the rifle for a few weeks, so not terrible. Okay, so for stage 2, this is the first stage where I can talk about milling targets. I'm using an MOA scope, so milling probably isn't the right term, but whatever. Leading up to this match, basically what I did was I took the size of the target that I knew I would be shooting at. In this case, these were full-size IPSC targets, so the target height was 30 inches, and I knew that going into it. So what I did is I figured, where does the bullet trajectory, if I hold at the top of the target, intersect the bottom of the target? So basically, if I aim right at the head, what's the smallest size target that will still hit that target? And in this case, it's 7 MOA. So if I aim at the head of a full-size IPSC, as long as it is taller than 7 MOA, I'll hit it. Once it gets to 7 MOA, I'm right at the bottom edge of the target, and I basically, at that point, need to adjust my hold. So when I zoom in here, I'll pause it when it's a good frame. You can see this target is exactly 7 MOA tall, which means that the impact from the bullet is going to be exactly 7 MOA. So eventually, I hit it when I start using that 7 MOA as my hold. Now, obviously, I said in the previous stages that I thought my gun was shooting right. And on this stage, it was, even though I'm pretty sure at the previous stage it actually wasn't. So I don't know what's going on. It might be me throwing shots. It might just be the inherent accuracy of the gun. I don't know. It wasn't windy at all. So I don't know. I need more time behind this gun to figure out what's going on with it. But unfortunately, that far target took me a lot longer to get than I wanted, and I timed out on this stage. Okay, so for stage 3, this is basically the only stage that went well for me. I did not do very well this day. It's easy to blame the rifle, but it was entirely my fault. When I got up here, based on previous matches, again, I knew more or less the distances that all these targets were within the point blank range of my gun. So again, within 310 yards. So I could just aim at the center of these targets and send it. So as I'm going through these, you can kind of see I'm fairly zoomed in. I think I'm sitting at, I don't know, maybe 12 to 15x. As I'm coming left to right, I shot this target. Realized I shot the wrong one because the RO didn't call it a hit, so I knew I was out of order. And I'm familiar with this range, so I know where they like to put targets, so I knew where the next targets were. If I had not been to this range before, finding those 2 targets that were buried back in the trees would have been pretty difficult. Now, unfortunately, Cameron did not let us know how we placed on any stage. So he kept the scoring hidden from everybody. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I got the best on this stage. No, I'm joking. I definitely didn't, but, you know, it's fun to pretend, right? Okay, stage 4 is short and sweet. You just had 4 targets up close. You got 2 shots each. Unfortunately, this stage got thrown out because the 2 different squads ended up doing different things on the stage. So one squad got told that you could only take 2 shots per target, whereas Cameron didn't want that information to be known. He wanted you to infer that from the stage brief. He wanted you to incur the penalty because he wanted to see if you could follow directions. That was his intent with that stage. So since that kind of got spoiled for, I believe it was my squad, he just threw that stage out. Oh well, you know, one of the only stages I finished, so I guess it would have been nice to have another win, but oh well. All right, stage 5. Now, this was probably my most disappointing stage because I made a really stupid mistake that cost me in this stage, even though this is one that I should have finished very easily. So because I've shot at Sawmill pretty often, when I got to this stage, I more or less knew exactly what the distances to these targets were going to be, and I was right. So once I got to this location, I assumed that Cameron had put the targets at 200 and 400 yards because that's what they basically always do at this position. And I was correct, which I guess that's some feedback for Cameron, is if he does more of these matches, I'd like to see more variation from the standard target placements that are typical at Sawmill, because that gives people who are very familiar with this range a very big advantage, right? Because I didn't have to range targets. I knew what they would be at, which, you know, I guess on the other side of that, you know, if you are a designated marksman doing the designated marksman things in the military, right? If you have your base or whatever, you're going to know the distances to certain things beforehand. Like you're going to sit there and range things so you know, oh, hey, that truck over there is 300 yards, or hey, that building out there is 800 yards. So, you know, I see both sides of it. Now, the mistake that I made on this stage was when I plugged in 200 yards on my ballistic calculator, it told me 2.5 MOA. And what I did not pay attention to was which direction that was. And I held the wrong direction. So for whatever reason, I assumed that it would drop 2.5 MOA and that it would not be over 2.5 MOA. So when I held on those 200 yard targets, I was trying to hold 2.5 MOA, and basically what that meant was that my bullets were going 5 MOA over where I wanted them to go, which put it right over the shoulder of this target. If I was perfectly centered, it would still hit, but if I was on the shoulder, it did not hit. And so that silly little mistake cost me this stage, because I would have finished this stage, especially because on the 400 yard targets, I was pretty happy. I didn't really have any trouble hitting those targets. Oh, and then during this reload, I kind of butchered it. So when I tried to rack the round, the safety was on, so it, you know, smacked the safety lever came up over where it's supposed to go, racked around in. I wasn't sure if it racked around, so I had to rack it again. It just, you know, this stage was a kind of a cluster. Okay, and the last stage of the day is stage 6. So for this stage, we had a target at 200, a target at 400, and then 3 targets at 600. Now for the targets at 2 and 4, they were pretty easy, straightforward shots. Nothing really to write home about there. And then for 600, these were probably the only targets of the match that I should have taken the time, measured their size, and then held based on their size. So I'll go ahead and throw up a frame here real quick, paused at this first target, so that way you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. What you can see here is that when I have the reticle at the top of the target, that target is about 4.5 MOA tall. And 4.5 MOA is actually one of my sort of critical numbers. Once the target gets to 4.5 MOA, that means that I have to use 22.5 MOA as the hold and aim at the top of the head, and I should be able to hit that target. So if I had done that, I would have known to hold, basically put 22, put the 22 MOA line at the top of the target. But because I didn't do that, I made a pretty poor guess as to the initial hold, and so I wasted a lot of time firing rounds downrange that were going nowhere near it, and then I finally spot splash and started holding the correct amount. Okay, so wrapping up this match, I had a lot of fun. I didn't place very well. I placed 13 out of 14. I don't know any of my placements on any individual stage because, again, Cameron kept those top secret. Keep your secrets, Cameron. I don't want to know. Main takeaways is just I need more time behind this rifle. And I think, and I would definitely need better ammo, at least faster ammo. So the AAC ammo that I'm using is accurate, relatively, right? 2.5 MOA is, for an AR-15, that's not, spectacular, but for an AK, that's not too bad. Especially considering that's a 20-shot group, not a cherry-picked 3-round group, right? So realistically speaking, I should expect, maybe 1.5-inch groups most of the time, I think. I don't know. I'd have to do the statistical analysis on that to tell you what the actual most common group size would be. But regardless, the main issue I have with the AAC ammo is that it is just too slow, right? 30 MOA of drop at 630 yards is kind of ridiculous. Now, I kind of know that going into this, right? So the day before this match, I measured this ammo going 2,400 feet per second, which at 600 yards should give me about 25 MOA of drop. So it was definitely colder this day. When I plug in a slower velocity, that would give me 27 MOA. I didn't measure the velocity on this day, so I don't know how fast my ammo was going. I will definitely have to do that next time I take this to a range and it's a bit chilly. Now, for reference, if that velocity got bumped up to about 2550, which I have seen those numbers from other brands of ammo, that drop would go from 30 MOA, from 27 MOA down to 21.5 MOA. So that cuts that drop down significantly. So I need to find some hotter ammo, or maybe I need to start hand loading. I'm not sure. Moral of the story, I need better ammo for this gun if I want to use it for more matches, especially if I want to use this in quantified performance next season. Hint, hint. That's more or less my main takeaway from this this match, is that I need more time behind this gun and I need faster ammo. Other than that, I guess another takeaway is if I'm going to be milling targets, I need to actually mill targets and not just guess. I had a whole spreadsheet filled out with, target sizes and what to hold based on target size, and I just didn't do it because, I didn't think about it. And then the other thing too is I'm pretty much used to the way I normally shoot matches is I get the target distance either from somebody who ranges the target or from the stage briefing. I plug it into Strelok, it tells me a number, and I go through all the targets on the stage. I'll dial the first target and then hold all the targets after that. And for all those targets, I'm holding center of the target. So I'm not used to holding, hold top of the target, hold bottom of the target. I'm not used to that. So practicing that is something I should do for future matches. I'm looking forward to Cameron's next matches because this was quite a fun match. It was definitely something different. It was really fun not knowing what target distances were and not being allowed to look at the target distances and not being allowed to range targets on the clock or off the clock or at all. You weren't allowed to do it. So that was definitely different, definitely fun. I think that's all I have for this match. Look forward to seeing this rifle more often because I'm definitely going to be running it more. I guess I'll see you on the next video.